Am I the a-hole for telling my ex-best friend? I don't owe her anything, including a relationship with my son. When I, 22F, was pregnant with my son, 4, I found out his father, my then boyfriend and my, at the time, best friend were sleeping together. I broke up with him and ended my friendship with her. My ex was an inconsistent father and only really stepped up to appease some of his family when our son was newly turned 2. My ex-best friend was really enthusiastic about it, and she called herself a bonus mommy whenever she could. She tried to make me forgive her a few times, but I ignored her and focused on my son. The only time that wasn't true is when my ex broke up with her, and she wanted to still be in my son's life. I told her that I was glad she wasn't going to be in my son's life anymore, and she was never going to be his mommy in any kind of way. She didn't like me calling her that, and she tried to say she had grown so much, and I should be glad someone who loves me also loved my son like she did. And I told her she never loved me, because if she did, she wouldn't have slept with the father of my child while I was pregnant, and then sent her ex, who she cheated on, to me expecting me to lie about it so he wouldn't know she'd cheated. My ex and ex-best friend ended up getting back together, but then my ex died. She went crazy because ex's family pushed her out once they found out. She wasn't welcome for any of the funeral planning or anything surrounding the funeral, because they wanted my son around, and they knew that needed to include me. We're on okay terms, and they knew I wasn't about to spend time with her. She tried to argue with me the day before the funeral, because nobody would tell her anything, and she didn't think it was fair that I got to be around for that stuff. While I hated him and she loved him but was shunned, I ignored her and carried on about my life. I guess at some point she talked to one of my ex's siblings and calmed down about that. But then she wanted to be in my son's life still. I'd blocked her number so she couldn't reach me, and blocked her on my socials, but she was using fake accounts and somehow using random numbers to text me from. I ignored her pleas to see my son. I feel like my silence said everything. But after months of no reply from me, she decided to harass one of my friends. So I went to her directly and told her I don't owe her anything, which was something she said to me, that I owed her at least some contact with my son, including a relationship with my son. I told her she was never anything to him, and I wanted her to fade away from our lives, because there was nothing to keep her around now. She broke down, and then her sister, who I forgot to remove from my list, messaged me and asked why I had to be so annoying when she's grieving the love of her life or whatever. Am I the a-hole?